Every tree draws its strength from its roots. For a tree to grow to its potential, it needs fertile soil, the right amount of water, and strong roots. The same is true for our family tree. The mossy oak tree is our logo, but is also a symbol of who we are. In this episode, we dive into the family tree of Jeff Shelby as he takes his father, Bob, on an unforgettable waterfowl trip to Kansas. Welcome to Mossy Oak's family tree.
Jeff followed me around the house all the time. We'd watch TV together, mostly hunting shows. And I was in hunting, since I was 12 years old. So I'd go on hunting trips and, poor Jeff would sit there at home, the puppy dog face, and wait for me to get home. But he was always there when I got to the door, wanted to see how we did.
And the best part was like when he'd get home and to see if he got something, he would have it. His ducks or geese laid out in the garage, and it was always so fun to go out there and just pick them up and see how big they were and look at how cool the ducks were and this and that. And I always remembered, I couldn't wait till I was old enough to go with him.
And then finally he was old enough to go out. And I remember we got out into the field and he threw up. I thought he was sick, but it was just his nerves, it was the adrenaline, that was pumping. And for a little guy like that to have that kind of adrenaline over, doing some hunting it just hit me odd that he really must love this.
And as I got older, he would drag me around to different waterfowl festivals and stuff like that. And, he was constantly, and every time we get in the car, he had old Tim Ground's half-breed goose call. And every time we got in the car, he'd take it and he'd put it in the back seat and he says, blow on it, try and make a honk, No matter where we went, everywhere we went, it was just nonstop. And finally one day I was able to make a honk and started progressing, getting better at calling from there on out. And Dad, he took me all over the US and Canada. And every weekend it seemed like we were going to a different calling competition somewhere. And I know he spent hundreds of dollars in gas and hotels, and I might have walked out of there with a gun case and a $3 plaque, but to me it was everything, and I know for him it was everything as well. It was time we got to spend in the truck talking about hunting and this and that, and then going to competitions and winning stuff like that. So it was, looking back on it now, the weekends that he sacrificed to help me further, I guess, my passion is pretty special looking back on it now. And that eventually led me to getting into, the hunting industry, filming for a duck hunting video series that turned into a TV series. And, we always look back and think about the times where him and I are sitting on the couch watching Ducks Unlimited TV or, whatever hunting show there was, and they're up in Canada or all over the US hunting, and it's just like, man, we'd sit there and go, wow, man, wouldn't that be awesome one day if we could ever go do something like that? And we're like, yeah, just, dreaming thoughts about it. Never thought it would happen. And finally the one year, I was able to actually take him to Saskatchewan filming for the TV show. And I remember sitting there in the blind, he's sitting next to me, I'm filming, he's hunting, and just taking it all in. I just kind of looked up at one point, I was like, you remember back in the day when we were sitting on the couch and watching the TV shows and trying to imagine what that was like, and it's like we're sitting here, we're doing it, like this is unbelievable. Like, it came full circle. you know, the values of Mossy Oak are so in tune and so in line with, you know, the family values that my dad instilled into me, that, you know, it's just, you don't see Mossy Oak as a company, it's more of a family, of a lifestyle, that the people there that, you know, I've only been a part of the family for almost a year now, but honestly, I feel like I've been with these people for my whole life. It's amazing to see a company like that instills such hard beliefs in, you know, your family and love for the outdoors, and how in tune and how in line that was with how I was raised. It's pretty special. It's been a pretty amazing experience so far. You know, if it wasn't for my old man, I definitely wouldn't be where I'm sitting here today, that's for sure. And, you know, he's made me the man that I am today, and, you know, the values that he's instilled into me, hopefully one day I can pass that on to my kids. You know, I hope maybe a father and his son's watching this right now and talking about how they would love to go on a trip like this with each other. And, you know, I hope that every father and son gets to experience something like this. But all I can definitely say is that, Dad, I thank you for everything you've done for me, and I love you to death, and hopefully we get to do a lot more of this in the near future.
At Mossy Oak, our family tree is the most important aspect of who we are. Taking the time to nurture and care for that tree makes the foundation for strong roots. As the old saying goes, you reap what you sow.